I've watched brand owners burn millions on Facebook ads by making this one simple mistake that 90% of you are making right now. Because every time you turn off a losing ad without analyzing it, you're literally burning money. With every creative, you're literally paying Facebook to understand your audience even better. But if you don't analyze your ads, especially the ones that flop, the ad spend was basically wasted for nothing. In the next 12 minutes, I'm going to show you the exact framework that helps 17 brands scale to over 100K per day just by analyzing their losing ads correctly, including Spencer, that was 300K in the hole with his brand, that scaled all the way up to 100K per day in 6 months using the same feedback loops. So here's exactly how to do it. So most of you guys are burning millions by not analyzing your losing ads. Because most of you, this is how you test, right? Upload your ad into ad account, wait a few days until it gets spent. If it doesn't work out, just move on and keep testing different things. But you didn't figure out why you tested something and why it didn't work in the first place. Just go right to the next thing. And the sad part about it is most of you guys are just throwing money at Facebook and hoping that whatever you do just magically works. Right? That if you have a lot of money to burn, sure, go ahead. But like most of us don't, you know. So most of you guys don't analyze what's not working, which in turns you guys keep making the same mistake over and over again. And most of the time, this is just laziness from the brand owner, or maybe that you just don't really. It's something so basic, but you didn't think of, right? If you touch like a hot stove, you immediately know the feedback loop is don't touch that, it's painful. You guys test this Facebook ads, it's like, oh, this shit isn't working, it's burning cash, it's okay. I'll do the same thing again. That's literally how you're approaching testing your Facebook ads. It is easier to just jump into the next concept without analyzing it, but the reality is it's very hard to scale your creative strategy like this because if you don't implement this analyzing your losing ads or feedback loops, mistakes keep happening the same ones over and over again, then you're really relying on luck to make it work. But there is a scientific method to actually test to make things work. So right now, you're working in the dark, you know, your hit rate's probably very low. Now it's just Zuck taking all your money. This is you guys blindfolded. Take my money. You know, that's literally your scenario now. It's not really fun to do to analyze your ads, but it is necessary to improve. It's why, okay, even most of you guys have been talking for so long. You guys have been speaking for 20, 30 years. Yet you guys still can't hold like a full conversation or presentation without stuttering. Because no one really sits and analyzes what actually went wrong. So, how do you then analyze losing ads? What's the framework at it? Obviously, you won't be amazing at it the first time you do it. It takes time to develop. Just like with any skill, with enough reps and hours, you get good at it. So, I have a few prompts here where you guys actually analyze your ads. What do I look at? Of course, with most ads, especially video ads, usually the hook is the issue. The hook, if you guys are not clear, really is the first 3 seconds of the video. It's important to realize why it didn't catch your audience's attention in the first place. Because a lot of the cases, when you guys have a video ad, right? One, it's attracting the wrong audience. If you were selling to, you know, let's say back pain, right? Back pain itself is so broad. What if the rest of your ad speaks to a younger audience, but the hook speaks to an older audience? Then it's not congruent. You can't look at ads as only hook and the body. You look at it as a whole thing. If the whole ad from start to finish, each message is not congruent, it's a very low likelihood of it actually converting it as well as it should be. So look at the hook first. Did it hook the right audience and kept them watching? Maybe the original audience that you actually wanted to target through your research, the hook doesn't actually target it that well. It didn't call out the audience, their problems, or their specific solutions. Maybe it was too broad. Or audience fit. Maybe the content you put out actually isn't suitable. If you wanted to target 60-plus-year-olds, why are you doing TikTok super fast style edits? Probably not a fit. And when I go through these are things you ask yourself when you analyze your ads. Sometimes the issue is not the ad idea, but maybe it's an execution of how the ad was done. Same thing, visual clarity. Does your copy create a clear image in their mind? If you're telling someone, hey, you're going to solve their knee pain, right? Every time in the morning they get up, they have some knee pain. Maybe you can show a visual that actually shows someone on the bed in the morning, like older person, if you're targeting an older person. So it's more congruent to what you're actually saying instead of some random B-roll that's not even relevant to the copy or the audience. Authenticity is the same thing as well, because you want to look at ads through the lens of your customer. When you do research, you assume the lens of your customer. If you're targeting the 60 plus year old, you need to think like a 60 plus year old. You get there by doing more research. Then you go on social media, maybe on Facebook or wherever that 60 plus year old hangs out. Okay, does the ad I put out here feel like something this 60 plus year old will watch by themselves based on the research I've done, based on social media feeds I've seen of 60 plus year olds? If not, it's probably too forced. You want to make things that look organic to them. Customer connection as well. Are you using labels and language your customers actually identify with? If you're targeting like 60 plus year old, why are you using like Gen Z language? Like some live streamer would probably, it can be the same exact thing that you want to say, presented very differently with different languages. Obviously, someone who's like 60 plus year old is going to speak very differently from us. But some of us don't really think about that when we're going through the ad. Next thing, story versus features. Common mistake for beginners is that you guys don't actually list out. End of day, sales ads are all just storytelling. Sometimes you guys just end up listing the product benefits instead of giving them the story of how this will help them. 60 plus, instead of telling them how this will help them spend more time with their kids because now they have fixed their knee pain, you're just telling them, oh, this fixes knee pain. Not as interesting, you see. It doesn't paint a visual picture in your mind. The last one is just emotional response. Does it make them feel something, or is it just completely flat? Obviously, if your ad is just this product does this product does this, there's not much emotional response there. And sales, even copywriting itself, people purchase through emotions at the end of the day. If you are not able to have a ad that does storytelling well enough that triggers an emotional response, it's a lower likelihood of it converting as well. So obviously there's a few things here I went through, but these prompts, ask that yourself whenever you're looking at an ad you made when you want to analyze it. Something didn't work. What was my initial idea behind it? Okay, let me check my execution. You go through this, the hook, the audience, the visuals, authenticity. Think, hey, maybe my idea and what I actually created was not aligned because I want to target 60 plus year old, but one of these, the visuals don't talk about 60 plus year olds at all. The language isn't for 60 plus year olds. Then you can analyze it, apply your feedback loops, and create a new version that does. And maybe that takes off. So when you do these learnings, it's important for you to track and note down these commonalities that we just talked about here. Obviously, we're going to make more losers than we do winners. So we need to take note of what's not working so we can avoid making the same mistakes over and over again, which most of you and most people often do anyways. The more learnings we do, the less mistakes you eventually do, the closer you'll get to winning at. That's what I mean by scientific testing. You're not just hoping, praying something works. Testing, hypothesis, eventually get closer to your winner as you deduce the things that do not work. So make sure each ad test you do, you're checking down whether it became a winner or loser, like this, and writing down the ad learnings instead of having it in your head. You should not have any of this in your head because you will forget the next time you do an ad again. So this time, when you create your next batch of ads, you can actually see what's working and what's not in the account. This way I know, okay, maybe I shouldn't mention something about, specific condition, whatever it may be. You can also action it out by creating a checklist of the things that are working and are not. It can be even in a Google document, like list, okay, what's working, what's not. So each time you create an ad, you review it again to make sure you're not making the same mistakes and you're doing more of what actually worked. The last part, you know how to do the learnings already, it's just executing on it. You need to study, bro. So ads either fail, like I said, because of two things. It's the idea or the execution. And we want to avoid execution errors as much as possible. So how do we avoid it? It's through the learnings I just talked about. And how long should you test an ad in that case? Because you can really go on an endless learning spree on an ad idea, and maybe it didn't work out in the end still. Maybe it could be an ad idea problem. So here's how I approach it, okay? If you have strong conviction in the research you just did, you can still iterate on it even though it flopped. But caveat to this, right? If it was way off from what you intended, it won't do well, right? From execution and the ad idea. But if there is strong conviction in the research, like I said, we will do maybe 2 to 3 batches of it so you don't get stuck in endless tweaking. So how does this work? Ad idea good. Okay, I think for some reason this didn't work out, but something in my research said that this was very strong. Comes out over and over again. Okay, I do my learnings. Okay, maybe there was an execution error at one part. I do my learnings. I make a second batch of it, applying the learnings I just did. It didn't work out. Okay, I'll do learnings on it again. Maybe I do a third time. Third time, I know although I was confident in my ad idea, I did learnings on it to avoid execution errors. It still didn't do well. It's okay. I'll move on. So you don't need to get emotionally attached to your concepts. Sometimes the idea just doesn't resonate with your audience. And in that case, if multiple iterations failed, you just go back to the customer research and move on to the next ad idea. So something that's really strong, eliminate execution errors, still didn't work well, you move on. Sometimes it's a strong ad idea, you apply your feedback loops, and then you can make a winner out of it because it actually was an execution error. So this actually will overall improve your hit rate because now you know what's working, what's not, and in case maybe you had some potential winners, but maybe you needed some small tweaks to become a winner. This whole process ensures the highest chance that your ads will actually work. Obviously, it's impossible for you to save every single ad. Some of it, people just don't like it. So just process these learnings to the best of your ability and continue testing. It's not that each time you do the learnings on the ads that it's going to be a 100% accurate hypothesis of why the ad isn't working. But the more you do it, the better you get. And overall, the more ads you do, the more commonalities you will see also. And the same applies to winning ads. We're not going to constantly beat it around and do iterations on it. Some people will say, okay, I have a winning ad, I'm going to keep doing endless iterations of it. It's the same thing with the rule on the 2 to 3 batches, right? You could get endlessly stuck tweaking it for not much results out of it. So in that case, you've done your best, you have the learnings already, just move on to the next ad idea. Carry those learnings when you do those new ads. Now that you've learned how to do the feedback loops, it's important that you take action on this for your current ads right now. And if you like content like this, and you want us to go deeper on it, you want to see exactly how me and my team actually do the learnings behind ads that make over 100K per day, whether how we do our creative strategy, our CRO behind these big brands. We also run an elite consulting community called Evolve, where we have over 300 plus brand owners doing anywhere from 7 to 9 figures per year. We're in there, always in the trenches, answering questions, showing you guys behind the scenes of what actually is working and what's not on how we scale these brands. I'll leave the link down below if you guys are interested. Besides that, thanks for watching.